second graders. Welcome to your TV classroom. Today is January. I said that wrong. Today is Tuesday, January 12th. And we're gonna do some math together. But as always, before we start our math, it's really important that we check in with our zone. So take a deep breath. How are you feeling today? That should give you a clue of how I'm feeling right now. I'm just a little bit in the blue zone because I'm just starting to get, mid-morning, sometimes you need a little snack and you start to feel a little sleepy. That's where I'm at right now. But I'm pretty much in the green zone, just a little bit of blue. So I'm like green with a tint of blue. How are you feeling today? Make sure you share that feeling with someone around you. It's really important to share your feelings. You can share it out loud with me, or to your buddy, or to someone in your home, or if you have a pet at home, you can do that too. Ooh, maybe a little more than a tad bit blue. That's okay. It is True or False Tuesday, so that should wake us up. That's when we get to look at something on the screen and decide, is it true? Ding, 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 ding. Or is it false? Wah, wah. Are you ready? Here we go. 16 minus 4 equals 20. Now, I want you to stop. Is this reasonable? If I start at 16 and I take some away, am I going to end at 20? No, I do not even need to continue solving the problem. This is not a reasonable answer. If I start at 16 and I take some away, there's no way I'm getting to 20, right? Right, unless I'm taking away a negative number, which means I'm adding, but we don't know about negative numbers yet in the second grade, so this is false. I forgot to get my pen ready. Oh, Mrs. Wally, definitely my brain is getting tired. False. Okay, 18 minus 2 is the same as 16. True or false? Ding, 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 ding. If I have 8 and I take away 2, I'm going to get 6. So if I have 18 and I take away 2, I'm going to get 16. Ding, 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 it's true. 17 minus 5 equals 12. True or false? Ding, 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 ding. If I'm at 17 and I hop back 5, well, I can just look at 7 and I know that 7 is made of 2 and 5. So I know I'm gonna have 12. Easy peasy. Ding, 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 true. 14 minus 5 equals 9. Ding, ding, ding. How did you know it was true? Great, I heard someone say, well, Mrs. Wally, I know that 5 has a 4 in it, and then there's 1 left over. So 14 minus 4 is 10, minus 1 more is 9. So it's true. It's a great mental math strategy, second graders. Last one. 12 minus 5 equals 17. Freeze. Is that reasonable? I'm gonna say it again. 12 minus 5, I'm at 12 and I'm gonna take 5 away. Is that the same as 17? No, I'm taking away 5 from 12. There's no way I'm getting to 17. It's false. What did this person do? They were not paying attention to this. They saw the 12 and the 5 and they wrote 17. This operation here matters. It tells us how to manipulate the numbers. It tells us what to do with the quantities to get the resulting answer, or what to do with the quantity on one side to see if it's the same as the quantity on the other. You must always, always, always pay attention to this. This is what's gonna tell you in every math problem you do from now until forever, what you're going to do with the numbers to find out if it's true or false. This is definitely false. So today, we're gonna continue learning strategies to solve problems involving time. This is our last lesson on it. This is gonna be like a pre-test type, get ready to go. If you've been in contact with your teacher, you'll be doing a quiz soon on this. So really focus, really make sure if you're not understanding something that you're taking note and letting your teacher know that this is not still making sense to me and I need help with it. Okay, now is the time to do that. Not once you take the test, not 3 weeks after the test. Now is the time for you to be an advocate for yourself and say, I'm still not understanding this and I think I need some extra help. And that's what being an advocate for your own learning is. So let's get going. Now it says to write the time on the digital clock and then draw it, but a lot of you don't have clocks to draw on at home. So I'm going to show you a time on my analog clock and I want you to write the digital time on your whiteboard, okay? So I'm gonna give you a time and then I want you to write this time on your whiteboard. Here we go. Write that time on your whiteboard. What time is it? Okay. You should be looking at two things, the hour hand and the minute hand. I'm noticing the hour hand is really close to the 8. So that tells me I need to look at the minute hand. Have I gotten to the 12 yet? Nope. Is my hour hand actually on the 8 yet? Nope. Because I haven't gotten to the 12. So what hour am I in? Yeah, the 7 o'clock hour. So it's 7. What? I'm 5 minutes away from being at the new hour. So I could skip count around, or I could just learn this is a benchmark number. When it's at the 11, it's how many minutes? 55, because 5 more make 60, right? So it is 7:55. We don't know AM or PM because I didn't give you any context. Let's head back to the PowerPoint and do the next problem. Now these ones we're gonna do on the PowerPoint. So it says, Elsa goes to swim practice after school. She finishes at 5:45. Which clocks show the time Elsa finishes? I will tell you there is more than one clock. So you need to look at all these clocks and decide which ones show Elsa going to swim practice after school. That's important information, my friends, okay? 5:45 after school. Please write the letters for all the clocks that show 5:45 after school. Go. All right. We're gonna go letter by letter in the alphabet and decide if it does or does not show 5:45. Look at A. Does A show 5:45? No, it shows 4:55. So is that gonna work? No, and it also says AM. Is that going to work? No, after school is PM. So nope, cross that one off. Let's take a look at B. Look at the hour hand. Look at the minute hand. The hour hand is sitting right here. It's not at the 6 yet. And the minute hand is pointing at the 9. When the minute hand's pointing at the 9, how many minutes have passed? Thank you, Mr. Kevin. 45 minutes. Look at that. It's not at the 6 yet. So what's the hour? 5. What's the minutes? 45. Is B a correct answer? Yes. Ding, 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 ding. B is one of our correct answers. Now let's look at C. Is C showing the 5 o'clock hour? Look at the hour hand. No, it's showing the hour hand by the 9. What are they trying to trick you here? Yeah, they made the minute hand be at the 5, which is actually 25 minutes. They're trying to confuse you. They're trying to get you to say that this is 5:45, but it's not. This is 9:25. Wrong. We're smarter than they are, right? Yes. So we can find their tricky things they do to try to see if we really understand our math. Now, look at the digital clock. What time does it say? 5:45 p.m. Is this showing Ella going to swim practice after school at 5:45? Yes, D is a correct answer. Now let's look at E. Is E a correct answer? Is our hour hand at the 5 yet? No, it's still in the 4 o'clock hour. It's still within that space of 4 o'clock. It's traveled really far. It's almost there because the minute hand's all the way over here. The minute hand's at the 9, which is 45. That means it's almost done with the hour, but it has not hit 5 o'clock yet. So this time actually shows 4:45. Is that Ella going to swim practice after school at 5:45? No, it is not. So the correct answers were B and D. Did you get the correct answers? If not, you need to practice more with your clocks. Where does the hour hand point when a clock shows 10:30? So I want you to think about a clock. I'm not going to show you the clock on purpose. I want you to, in your head, I want you to visualize the clock and it's showing 10:30. Where is the hour hand pointing? Is the hour hand pointing at the 6? At the 10? Between the 9 and the 10 or between the 10 and the 11? I want you to think about it. And then let's look at my clock. Just think time and then looking at my clock, yes. What do you think? The clock was showing 10:30. What does that mean? It means we're halfway through the 10 o'clock hour. So where would my hour hand be? Okay, Mr. Kevin, let's see our real clock. So 10, let's start at 10 o'clock. Okay? Woo! Let's start at 10 o'clock. Now remember, this hour hand moves in relation to the minute hand. So if I'm at 10:30, I'm halfway through the hour, which means my hour hand's going to be halfway through its hour. So where is the hour hand pointing? It's between the 10 and the 11. Did you answer correctly between the 10 and the 11? If not, you need to spend some more time working with clocks. If you did, great job, you're well on your way. The minute hand on a clock points at the 10. What time could it be? So we don't have the hour hand. There's no hour hand on the clock, it fell off. It came in, it was gone. Gus must have eaten it. Do you like to eat hour hands, Gus? Yummy. Okay, when he has some time. Only hours though. It takes some hours and hours, Mr. Kevin. Okay, so we only know that the minute hand's pointing at the 10. So what times could it be? But I don't know the minute hour, Mrs. Wally, but it doesn't matter. We know the minutes. So let's look at the minutes and see which ones we can eliminate. Would it be 10:10 if the minute hand's on the 10? When the minute hand's on the 10, it means the minutes is how many? 50. So it's not going to be 10:10. Could it be 4:50? It could. Can it be 10:30? Not with a minute hand at 50. Can it be 8:50? It could. Could it be 10:20? Not with the minute hand at the 50. So it could be 4:50 or 8:50. We don't know because we don't know the hour. But we do know it's been 50 minutes. So it's either going to be 4:50 or 8:50. Those are the two correct answers. Dylan finishes soccer practice at the time shown on the clock at the right. Which clock below shows the time Dylan finishes soccer practice? There's an important piece of information in there. Soccer practice. When do we usually have soccer practice? After school. Think about that. Take a look at the clock. Where's the hour hand? It's on the 4. And the minute hand's at the very beginning of the clock. So it's going to be 4 something. What time is it? Is it going to be 1:20? No. We know it's not 1:20. Whoops. Because the hour hand's on the 4. Okay, so now we have to decide, is it 4:01 a.m.? If he's at soccer practice? No, that doesn't make sense. That's really early in the morning. So now we have to decide, is it 4:05 p.m. or 4:10 p.m.? Which one is it? Yeah, it's 4:05 p.m. because it's pointing at the 1, and the 1 shows how many minutes have passed. 5. So it's the 4 o'clock hour and 5 minutes have passed. Very good. After school, there it is again. After school, important, Robin reads until 7:35. Draw hands on the clock to show that time. Then write the same time on the digital clock. Circle AM or PM. If you have a clock, show it. If not, just write the digital time and circle AM or PM. I'm going to go ahead and show it on my clock while you're working on writing. So it's 7:35. So and actually, I'll just draw it straight on here, Mr. Kevin. I can just do that. So my hour hand is going to be after the 7, but not to the 8. A little, almost halfway, a little past halfway. And my minute hand's going to be on the 7 because that's 35. So that's what my clock should look like. Now, digital clock, did you write it yet? 7:35. The tricky part with the digital clock, though, is it AM or PM? If Robin's reading until 7:35 after school, PM, because we get home in the afternoon. It's a lot of reading time. All right, I'm going to keep going, and we're going to go to your assignment. So today your assignment is to finish these pages. We've done some of them together, and I want you to do them again and make sure you get them correct without my help. You're going to do page 287 and 288 in your math workbook. Practicing telling time. Again, now is the time. If you're doing these problems and you are frustrated or it's not making sense, you need to let your teacher know. You need to say, this is still not making sense to me. I need help. We cannot unzip your brain and see inside that you need help. You have to let us know. You might just write on the top before you turn it into your teacher, help. Your teacher then knows you need help. But it's your responsibility as a second grader that when something's not making sense, that you're brave and you speak up and you advocate for yourself and say, that didn't work for me. I need more help with this. Can I get some more practice? Can you show me how to do it a different way? And that's our job as teachers. That's why they have us here. Okay? All right, let's check our learning for today. Did we solve problems involving time? Yep. Did we model the problem? Did we choose efficient strategies? Did we explain our thinking? You did it, second graders. Nice job. Now, before I let you go, you will need your night school book and your learning buddy. And you're going to take a break. And when you come back from your break, you will be ready to learn with Miss Oslin. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, second graders.
day, young aviators. Did you know that we live in an amazing state? Not only is Washington famous for its spectacular scenery, but did you know that Washington State is famous for making airplanes? So today, we will be using our arms' muscular strength to fly around Washington State and see how beautiful it is. All you have to do is put your arms out when the bald eagle takes off from her totem pole and keep them flapping until she makes it back to her totem pole safely. Now, your arms might get a little tired, but that's okay. That's how we build our muscular endurance. Don't stop flapping until you land. Have a great flight.
Welcome back, second graders. Most of you I see did a fabulous job of taking care of your needs and gathering your materials. Go ahead and take your materials and just put them off to the side because I want to start by telling you about something interesting that happened last night. I was putting Max and Charlie to bed, and as I was doing that, we were singing the song Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and it sounded like this. Sing along with me if you know it. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. And as I was singing, I didn't sing the last word in each line, but Max and Charlie still knew what it was. And I got to thinking about how when we are reading, we can do the same thing where we listen to the last word, like if we're reading a nursery rhyme or a rhyming book, and we can predict what the word is based on the sounds of the previous word, even if the words aren't spelled the same. So we can use rhyme to help us read things smoothly. You'll notice when I was singing, maybe it didn't sound the greatest, but it was smooth. It had a rhythm to it. Now I'm going to say it again, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, but I'm going to change my rhythm and pay close attention to, does it sound smooth? Here I go. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world, so high, like a diamond in the sky. Does that sound smooth? No, my rhythm was off. It sounded odd. It didn't sound smooth. And when we read, we want things to sound smooth, like when we're singing a song or reading a nursery rhyme or reading a poem. So today I want to teach you that learning the patterns can help you read words that rhyme smoothly. And we've been talking about word patterns and how we can use word patterns to help us write words correctly. Today we're going to use those patterns to help us read words that rhyme smoothly, even if they're spelled differently. And we're going to look at an example of Humpty Dumpty. Now, if you know this poem, I want you to say it with me. And if you don't, listen really closely to the words so that you pay attention to the rhythm. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. You knew it was the word again. Let's look really closely at those lines. And we're going to look really closely at the words that we heard rhyme. And I know Mr. Kevin predicted that it was the word again, even though I didn't say it. Let's read this together. Here we go. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Now, we can read that super quickly because it fits the rhyming pattern. But look at the words that we're saying rhyme. Men, again. They do not have the same spelling pattern, but we can still use that they sound the rhyming to help us predict what the word is as we read. So when you start reading a nursery rhyme, or any writing anyways, it might take some time to hear the rhythm of the words and pay attention to where are the rhymes? Where can you hear the rhymes? You might ask yourself, can I hear how to read this? You might try the rhythm in a few different ways, like I modeled with Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Let's try it again with Humpty Dumpty, but this time we're going to change how we read the rhythm. Are you ready? Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Now, does that sound smooth?
No.
No. And the emphasis that I put on the word in the middle of the sentence, did that help me predict what this word in the middle of the next sentence would be? Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had. I can't predict that. So it's important, again, to read rhyming words and poems or books in different rhythms and listen really closely for the words that rhyme to help you predict or know what the other words at the end of the line will be. Now, just for fun, let's read Humpty Dumpty together one more time. This time, we're going to read it with the correct rhythm. Are you ready? Here we go. Humpty Dumpty
sat on a wall.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. We were able to figure out those words when we made sure that our rhyme was at the end and we listened really closely, even though they're spelled differently. Okay, so now get out your text. Night School. We're going to read some of these pages and we're going to pay attention to the rhyming words. Here we go. Skip to page 6 because we're not going to read the whole thing because you have been practicing reading the whole thing independently to yourself. So by now you should, hopefully, you're really fluent and you can read this really smoothly. Here we go. Read with me. That rock, they said, that rock over there. If you knock on that block, will it chime like a clock? It will tick, it will talk, and it will unlock. So we did what they said, and it was quite a shock. We tiptoed right in and stepped through the door, and there it was. Oh, excuse me. See, I messed up the rhythm. Try it again. Go back to the beginning. We tiptoed right in and stepped through a door, and there was the wizard we'd seen from before. And we can predict it's the word before because this is a text that rhyme. And we know that door and before rhyme. But let's look really closely at those words. Let's read this again. Pay attention to the words that rhyme. We tiptoed right in and stepped through a door, and there was the wizard we'd seen from before. Now, just looking at these words, I don't see the words that rhyme. There's no words like dog and log and hog that have the same words, the same letters in the middle and ending position. But I know it's a rhyming book. So door and before are words that rhyme. Did you notice that hearing the words that rhyme helped us listen for rhymes and spot them? We couldn't find the words that rhyme just by looking. We had to listen. And they are spelled incorrectly, or they're spelled differently, excuse me. So that's why it's also important to pay attention to patterns and figure out which one of these patterns for the sound or has more words that use it. Let's keep reading. In a flash, in a crash, we got into a clash. With a smash and a bash, we broke his whole stash of bubbling potions and magical trash. Let's look really closely at those words again. Can you, just by looking at the words, find the words that rhyme? Take a moment, and in your book, try to find the words that rhyme. Did you find them? There's flash, crash, clash, smash, bash, stash, trash. Those rhyming words we're able to find just by looking at the words because they have the same letters that make those sounds. The middle and ending sound is ash, and they're all spelled A-S-H. So in this case, we can use how they're spelled by looking at them to tell which words rhyme. Splash! Now, turn to page 11, and I want you to take a moment. Well, let's read it through together first, and then I'm going to give you a moment to independently look at the words and see if you can find the words that rhyme. But let's read it together. Here we go. A blizzard of bubbles flew up in the air and pop, 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 popped over here, over there. The wizard we'd fought was a wizard no more. He'd shrunk to a lizard right there on the floor. Now zoom in on the words and see if you can tell just by looking at the words, which are the words that rhyme? They have the same spelling. Oh, well, I see, blizzard. Blizzard, A-R-D, I see A-R-D, I see A-R-D. But those aren't at the end of the lines. So let's read again. And this time, we're going to point out the words that sound the same. Here we go. A blizzard of bubbles flew up in the air and pop, 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 popped over here, over there. Oh, there it is. Air, there. The wizard we'd fought was a wizard no more. He'd shrunk to a lizard right there on the floor. Yep. More, floor. When you read texts that rhyme, you can use how the words sound to help you predict what that next word will be that you know rhymes with it using rhythm. Let's read this together, and then again, you're going to independently go into this page, 12, this is just the next page, and find the words that rhyme. We picked up our rhymes and marched back to school, where we had some great fun using those words as tools. For writing our own books full of rhyme after rhyme, we wrote them all day. What a wonderful time. Now I hear words that rhyme. Now look at them really closely. Do you see any words that rhyme that have the same spelling? Oh, I see O-O-L and O-O-L-S, school tools. It's kind of rhyme. The S at the end kind of throws it off. Now, I know there were other words on this page that rhymes, but I don't see them. So let's read it again, and this time, use the rhythm and the rhyme to help us identify the words that rhyme. Read it with me. We picked up our rhymes and marched back to school, where we had some great fun using those words as tools. For writing our own books full of rhyme after rhyme, we wrote them all day. What a wonderful time. Ah, rhyme, time. We didn't see those words that rhymed just by looking at the spelling. We had to listen to them and use the rhythm to help us read smoothly to help us predict what those words were. Now, this is the night fight, and I'm going to read it, and I want you to predict the word that might come at the end of the line. Now, I know this is really small. It's because I don't want you to use the text. I just want you to listen. The night fight. A knight was looking for dragons to fight. He logged onto a website and typed dragons to fight and test my might. The website said, follow the bright light. The knight found the dragons and said, I want to fight and test my might. The dragons were very polite. They didn't like to fight and bite. The dragons liked to fly kites and write. So the dragons offered the knight a flight through the bright night. The knight said, all right, and they flew out of sight. Now, I heard a lot of words that had the "ite" sounds. But if we were to look at that really closely, in the first paragraph, can you find the words that rhyme? Oops, don't want that. Erase. Fight, might, light all have IGHT. But if we read it again, a knight was looking for dragons to fight. He logged onto a web site. That's this word. Highlighter. Right there. There we go. It's not spelled the same. So when we use rhyming to help us predict, it helps us read more smoothly. Because I might have had to stop and sound out the word website to help me read that. But if I use rhyme, I can read it more smoothly. Today we learned that patterns can help us read words that rhyme smoothly, even if they're spelled differently. Now, as you go off to your independent reading today, I want you to notice patterns and see how the patterns can help you read words that rhyme smoothly. You can also use this in your writing, and you'll remember that we can find powerful word patterns to help us write words correctly. You can find some words that rhyme, zoom in on the rhyming part, and test if this is a powerful pattern that will help with other words. And if so, you study its spelling so you can use it often. As you're writing today, you're also going to practice using your troublemaker words, your tackle a word if there's a word that's always giving you trouble. Don't just let it give you trouble. Do something about it. Tackle it. You're going to also practice becoming more fluent at reading your snap words by reading a page in your snap words book like you would read your word ball. You'll remember you can read it loud like a monster, scary like a witch, squeaky like a mouse, whisper like a secret, or invent your own. And if you invent your own and you know it's something that all of the second graders here in Tacoma need to hear and see, you can ask if it's okay with your adult and if it's okay with you, and they can record you doing that. You can email it to us here at TV Classroom. You could also just write it down and email it to us or send it to us in a letter. Thank you so much for doing all this hard work with me today. I want to remind you that today is Tuesday, which means tomorrow is Wednesday, which is the day where we have our special guest and our art lesson with Miss Teresa. So make sure that you have your paper, your pencil, your drawing materials that you will need, and be ready to meet a new special guest from our Tacoma community tomorrow. Now, as I send you off to your independent work, I want you to remind yourself that you are a hard worker. You work hard every day by showing up, getting your work done, and then going off to continue your learning independently. So remind yourself, I am a hard worker. Say that with me. I am a hard worker. Excellent job, second graders. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow in our TV classroom. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.